पड़ा, कांगड़ा मिनिस्टर हिमाचल प्रदेश पड़ा, ये कांग्रेस टाइम में, और संविधान की बात करते हैं और ये कहते हैं संशोधन क्यों लेकर है। इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट के फैसले के बाद और जस्टिस के कृष्णा अय्यर के सुप्रीम कोर्ट में स्टे देने के पश्चात श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी ने संविधान संशोधन करके और अध्यादेश जारी करके अपनी मेंबरशिप कायम रखी। उतना बड़ा गलत काम हिंदुस्तान के इतिहास में। वो पार्टी पार्लियामेंट की बात करे, वो पार्टी कानून की बात करे, वो पार्टी संविधान की बात करे, तो मैं समझता हूँ कि इससे बड़ा कोई धोखा नहीं हो सकता। इसलिए मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि ये कानून, ये अध्यादेश संविधान के अनुसार है, दिल्ली के जनता के हित में है और ये उसी प्रकार से समस्या का समाधान कर देगा जिस प्रकार से आर्टिकल 370 को समाप्त करके कश्मीर की समस्या का समाधान हुआ। अब किसी को भी कमेटी बढ़ाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, दिल्ली की समस्या का भी परमानेंट समाधान हो जाएगा। ये इस बिल में है। सभापति महोदय, आपने मुझे समझ दिया, इसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। माननीय घनश्याम जी। ऑनरेबल Sri Vaiko ji, you have 4 minutes, sir. Mr. Deputy Chairman, sir, I crave your indulgence for some generosity. These small parties always face the same difficulty. So I kindly be liberal with 1 or 2 minutes. Honorable Chairman has been very generous. He's waiting for 6 hours for getting 4 minutes. That's enough. That's why he's asking Honorable Honorable Michael. With all the force under my command, I oppose this abominable, undemocratic bill which strikes at the very root of democracy, the very root of federal spirit, at the very root of secularism, at the very root of social justice. Sir, the government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Bill 2023 has brought forth systemic shifts in the governance landscape of Delhi. While fulfill the gap of administrative efficacy, the bill in many ways appears to erode the democratic fabric that is intrinsic to Indian polity. The bill notably clips the wings of the Delhi Legislative Assembly by stripping it of the power to legislate on services. This is a deviation from the norm, where a state would typically have jurisdiction over subjects the state list with the exception. The establishment of the National Capital Civil Services Authority on the surface may seem like an earnest attempt to streamline administrative processes. However, delving into composition and powers exposes an unsettling reality. The Chief Minister, an elected representative, is rendered virtually, I should not use the word impotent, so he is made, rendered puppet within the authority. Now I recall what I read in history when I studied in the college about the triumvirate in Rome, which was called a democracy. Rome given Julius Caesar, but kept his word. After his assassination, another triumvirate was formed, and Antony took the reins of the power. Here, directly opposite what is going to happen in India. The triumvirate is 2 principal secretary and cabinet secretary. They are the majority, and the chief minister would be a puppet. So, this is the verdict given by the people of Delhi has been thrown into the dustbin of history. Many governors are appointed by the government, the central government. The governors in the opposite states, how they behave, how I am coming to the end, sir. Sir, these governors, what they
In my state, Tamil Nadu, the governor has not even assent to the has not even assent to the set by the state assembly. For all I'm telling the state assembly. So the home minister is sitting here. So he is the custodian of these governors. So these governors, what they do, they do. They do follow the philosophy of Hindutva and Sanatana Dharma. This is happening in my state, sir. In my state. So the governors are behaving the agents of the central government. Please speak on the agents of the central government. Speak on the government. Your time is over, sir. Please finish. Time is over. Finish. It is already thrown out of history. Thrown out of the. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Michael. Thank you. Thank you. Mani Hardeep Singh Puri ji. Mani Hardeep Singh Puri.
Honorable Deputy Chairman, sir, one of the advantages of speaking so late into the discussion is that some of the most amazing statements bordering on the outlandish have already been responded to by others. And some of the facts will, I'm sure, be covered in great detail when the Honorable Home Minister replies to this discussion. But I picked up some gems and I thought I will share them with you. It was when the Honorable Chairman was presiding that words that were used included retrogressive, unconstitutional, control-free, principles of federalism violated, arrogant government, accountability, constitutional stupidity, cheap tactics, chicanery. Now, I would like to subject some of these terms to any dictionary of legal usage or normal linguistic usage. And I think much of this actually is applicable to what is being said by those who are opposing the bill, rather than the constitutionality of what we have brought forward. But I think the gem which I really enjoyed, and I think, sir, I say this out of deference to you because you yourself are such a high legal luminary, that when lawyers start quoting from historical figures, I should be careful. When they came for the socialists, I did not oppose because I'm not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. I did not oppose because I'm not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I'm not a Jew, so I didn't oppose. Now they come for me. Sir, I want to humbly submit, they came for you. They first attacked you. And I'm talking about a period before the BJP government assumed office in May 2014. Let me remind you, because you seem to have selective amnesia. On the night of 15th and 16th of January, one of the so-called elected, accountable ministers of the Aam Aadmi government, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Somnath, he attacked a colony of foreigners, and he used a mob as an instrument of politics. Some foreign nationals were subjected to cavity searches. So that's a very serious term. Cavity searches, basic human rights violation. They were subjected to urine samples were tested, and they said, I know the honorable Congress member is encouraging show, but let me complete. You don't know where you will have to look then. Let me remind you. Sit down. You'll benefit from this. And
One second. First ask your colleagues to take the seat. One second. First ask your colleagues to take seat. Yes. Now what is your point?
member of the House. how you can name that person?
Let me, let me tell the honorable member, Mr. Gupta, that this issue was addressed by me on a point of order, raised by me to opposition. And I had categorically held that this House has the power to discuss content of animal. This House has the power to discuss anything under the planet. And as a matter of fact, this issue was signaled by former Chief Justice Mr. Gogoi also. If it is with respect to member of a Lok Sabha, then there is a set procedure that before making accusations, notice has to be given. So no, don't get upset. Don't get upset. Don't get upset. Once again, let me tell you, Mr. Gupta, if you get upset, you will be helping Mr. Puri. You will be helping Mr. Puri if you get upset.
Sir,
The time is chapter.
sir, this unfortunate incident, which we would all want to forget, but which my friends, those who are opposing this bill, perhaps want to forget even more, took place on the fateful night of 15th and 16th January 2014. Sir, I wrote about it even then. I have a publication which has these and other such incidents documented. And these were, I can give them the citation, these were much before the BJP government under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister assumed responsibility. Sir, this did not end here because the then so-called accountable Chief Minister, who did not succeed in persuading or using the margin of persuasion with the Delhi police force, then decided 3 days later to hold the entire city to ransom by going on a strike at Rail Bhavan for 36 hours. It was, sir, on the 20th of January 2014. And all he wanted was those 3 police persons who did not support that vigilante type of action against those foreign ladies. They should be suspended. And sir, because we had a government in power in Delhi at that point of time, they followed the policy of appeasement. They indulged this kind of behavior. And 2 of the policemen were transferred because they were afraid that the 26th January celebration would be thwarted. Sir, these are the facts. And let me not stop here. This was an action in January 2014. Now, this bill speaks to the heart of governance. Heart of governance. What does governance say? Sir, what does the heart of governance say? And I'm very happy that my chance to speak came after my learned friend Shri Mahesh Jetmalani and others. But since I'm not a lawyer and I was preparing for this intervention, for which I'm deeply grateful to my party, there are 2 or 3 things which stand out. This particular insertion in 1991 and 239, what does it seek to do? It acknowledges the sui generis character of Delhi. The honorable member mentioned there was a reality. It is a union territory, yet it has a legislature, elected government. So it's used the term escalated union territory. But that sui generis character needs to be acknowledged, it needs to be fleshed out, and that is precisely what the bill that the government has brought is seeking to do. Now, the civil service authority which is being established, I found it appalling that someone can get up here and say, one member is supreme. Yes, he's an elected chief minister. He deserves full respect. He deserves to have his position as primus inter pares in this 3-member committee acknowledged and respected. But to say that the other 2 are against the whole system, or they have been appointed and their integrity is in doubt, is an outlandish statement, if I may submit. Let me now read out to you how they treat their chief secretary. Sir, I have in front of me the copy of an FIR filed a few months later. It was filed on 20th February 2018. The then chief secretary says that he received an information yesterday, that is 19th February. I was informed on telephone at 8:45 p.m. in the evening that the advisor to the Chief Minister, Shri V.K. Jain, that I had to reach the CM's residence at 12 o'clock at night. Sir, I'm not going to read out the whole FIR, but I'll read out some salient portion. He had already met the Honorable Chief Minister at that point of time, earlier in the day. He was to meet the Chief Minister again the next day because there was a cabinet meeting. And the contents of this FIR, sir, are amazing. He says he was told that if some advertisements that were the Honorable Chief Minister desired and some of their MLAs desired, if those advertisements are not released, they better come there at 12 o'clock. The Chief Secretary reached the Honorable Chief Minister's residence. He thought only the Deputy CM would be there, Shri Manish Sisodia. But to his surprise, 11 other MLAs were there. And they sat down and started questioning the Chief Secretary in an aggressive manner why those advertisements were not released. To which the Chief Secretary replies as part of the FIR, part of the subsequent legal records, that those advertisements could not be released in the light of the Supreme Court directives. Then what happened is even more amazing. The Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister are present, and the Chief Secretary is physically assaulted. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. और इसका जवाब आप जनता के सामने देना, आप भूलना चाहते हैं, हम आपको याद करवाएंगे.
Honorable Minister, a copy of this FIR is laid on the table of the House.
Here and now. Okay. Now I want to come to the subsequent stages of what happens. Sir, initially when the case came up in the preliminary legal stages, the government of the National Capital Territory of Delhi took the view that no such incident took place. Total denial. When it went up to the next stage, they said, incident तो हुआ था, पर इसमें Chief Minister और Deputy Chief Minister ने हाथापाई नहीं की, उनके MLAs ने किया. साहब आप मुख्यमंत्री हैं, आपके घर में आप MLAs को बुलाते हैं, उनको कहते हैं Chief Secretary की पिटाई कर दो, तो ये कोई मैकेनिज्म नहीं चलेगा. ये इनको जनता के सामने जवाब देना पड़ेगा. ये सब लीगल. Now let me come to a few substantive things, sir. I have had the privilege, sir, I have had the privilege of being Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs. Now, sir, I have had the privilege of being the Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs.
I have heard from this side also, from every side of the House. One second. You have to let some here to me and be a little patient. There have been inputs that have been absolutely beyond the pale. When I tried to request the honorable members to be in the group, they said no. And I have had a number of them saying so. If the honorable minister is making an input, hear him patiently. When there is an occasion for someone from this side, you have an occasion. But can we create ruckus in the house like this? So I will not like it. क्या कहा?
Let me shift now to a second segment of my submission to this August House through you, sir. I've had the privilege of being the Minister for Housing and Urban Affairs at least now nearly 6 years, sir, from 3rd September 2017. Sir, on many such occasions, I've had to appeal to the Honorable Chief Minister for the implementation of central schemes. When it came to the unauthorized colonies and their regularization, I had to write a letter to him. I'm placing that on the table of the House also about the false narratives that they were creating. But when we come to some basic issues, sir, when it comes to schemes which are the capital territory of Delhi as an equal participant, let me give you, sir, something like the Delhi metro system. Sir, they are still sitting. There have been constant delays in getting approvals for metro and RRTS projects. The signing of the tripartite MOU for DMRC Phase 3 and Phase 4 for 3 priority corridors is pending despite several reminders to the GNCTD. Recently, sir, they are co-partners with us for the RRTS and they would refuse to part with the remaining 415 crores. The matter was agitated before the Honorable Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court asked them, how much money have you spent on advertisement? So the reply given to the Supreme Court by the Capital Territory of Delhi government was that they have spent 1,100 crores on advertisements in the last 3 years. In 3 years. And they could not release 415 crores for the RRTS. So this again, एक ऐसा मुद्दा है जिसपे इनको दिल्ली की जनता को जवाब देना होगा. Or so let me give you one or two other some examples, sir. A reference has already made in terms of dealing with institutional mechanisms. Let me also tell you, sir, that the 400 or so specialists or consultants who were hired, but I'm very happy that the Lieutenant Governor has finally terminated their services. What services they provided at exorbitant salaries. Perhaps they might like to inform the House about that. But there was another expenditure, sir, where they incurred 7 लाख का खर्चा किया कुछ इक्विपमेंट खरीदने के लिए. इक्विपमेंट 7 लाख की है और उन्होंने विज्ञापन उसमें किए 23 करोड़. I will place those facts in front of the table of the House also. Sir, very often, we are told that the central government starves the government of Delhi and the FCTs and everybody of funds. I did a quick reckoning, sir. Since 2014, we have given to these different bodies under the Urban Development Funds or other schemes a total of 52,052 crores, sir. 52,052 crores. And what we witness, जो हमारी केंद्रीय योजनाएं हैं, मैं इसके एक का उदाहरण दे रहा हूं क्योंकि मनसुख भाई मेरे साथ, my honorable colleague is sitting next to me. Some of the most successful schemes, sir. आयुष्मान भारत, जिसके तहत एक परिवार को एक वर्ष में 5 लाख रुपए की सुविधा है इलाज करवाने के लिए, दवाइयों के लिए, ऑपरेशन के लिए, पोस्ट ऑपरेशन केयर. ये इन्होंने दिल्ली में लागू ही नहीं की. इन्होंने कहा कि हमने शानदार वर्ल्ड स्टैंडर्ड के मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बनाए हुए हैं. वो हमारे कुछ लोग हैं, उनको शुरू में पसंद आते हैं, फिर वो समझते हैं कि यहाँ पे वर्ल्ड क्लास नहीं है, ये तो काफी फटीचर टाइप है, तो फिर उनकी निंदा कर देते हैं. देखिए सर, ये आपने एक शब्द इस्तेमाल किया, कन्वीनियंट मैरिज. कन्वीनियंट मैरिज क्या होती है सर? कन्वीनियंट मैरिज मेरे हिसाब से वो होती है जो एक अपॉर्चुनिस्टिक अलायंस होती है. तो वही कांग्रेस पार्टी जिनको इस फील्ड में वो लग रहे हैं, पहला अटैक तो आम आदमी पार्टी का उन्हीं के खिलाफ हुआ था. अल्टीमेटली इसकी पैदाश कहां से हुई थी आम आदमी पार्टी की? सर, it was we also welcomed it. I must say, as a private citizen, when I found a social movement headed by a highly respectable Anna Hazare to against entrenched भ्रष्टाचार, entrenched corruption के खिलाफ. But today, you wonder who started the movement and who has become the prime mover and where is this leading to? So I make the submission to you, sir. I have no desire to take more time than is necessary because I told you, I've already seen that most of the question and those absurd statements have already been responded to by others on the legal front, and I'm sure that the Honorable Home Minister, when he's responding to the debate, will provide. But in conclusion, sir, let me ask through you one question. Why do we have selective amnesia? कुछ चीजें हमें याद रहती हैं और कुछ चीजें हम कन्वीनियंटली भूल जाते हैं. अच्छा, शब्द जो इस्तेमाल करते हैं यहाँ पे, आपने कहा कि ये अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल है, ये सब जुडिस है, ये है, ये वो है. मैं आपसे एक चीज सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ. अगर आपके पास लीगल आर्ग्यूमेंट्स नहीं है, तो चिदम्बरम जी ने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि लीगल आर्ग्यूमेंट्स हैव बीन एग्जॉस्टेड बाय डॉक्टर सिंघवी, तो इसलिए वो पॉलिटिकल करे. पर पॉलिटिकल आर्ग्यूमेंट भी मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा. ये चाहते क्या है? डू यू वांट द नेशनल कैपिटल टेरिटरी ऑफ दिल्ली टू बी सब्जेक्टेड टू दिस काइंड ऑफ एनार्किज्म? और ये एनार्किस्ट का शब्द मैं नहीं इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूँ. जब रेल भवन में उन्होंने 36 घंटे he held the city to ransom, he said, and he's on record, I'll make that cutting also available, I am an anarchist. So this political formation, sir, a startup, has not made the transition from anarchy to governance. And this bill is about governance. They should rejoice, they should welcome it, and they should participate in mature governance till they are in office. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, sir.
Message from Lok Sabha, Secretary General.
Sir, with your kind permission, I rise to report that the Lok Sabha at its sitting held on 7th August 2023 has agreed without any amendment to the Mediation Bill 2023, which was passed by Rajyasabha at its sitting held on 1st August 2023.
Honorable members, as you are aware, discussion on the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill 2023, which has been allotted 6 hours for discussion, will continue beyond 8 p.m. today. In view of the extended sitting, for the convenience of honorable members, dinner will be served in Banquet Hall Parliament Library Building from 7:30 p.m. onwards. Members may accordingly make use of the arrangements. Dr. M. Hardeep Puri, 4 minutes.
Sir, I have former law minister. You have given so many people. I have former law minister.
Sir, the word is very cruel.
Some more time.
It takes note of the present.
No.
All of us have that feeling to see.
Yes, sir.
I was vocal for a very long time.
Not by Honorable Amit Jaji. I want to support this bill. Give me some time. Because as a law minister, former minister, I want to say something.
Let me tell you, Mr. Hardeep Puri, you have been a former law minister. Whenever there is a bench of judges,
Sir, you are
the wisest judge is one who says, I agree.
Sir, time is precious. Sir, you are a legal luminary. I am ordinary law minister at that time. Please allow me to speak
4 minutes.
Sir, on behalf of ADMK party, I support the bill brought by Honorable Home Minister Amit Jaji regarding to seek that to promote harmonious relations between the legislature and executive and further define the responsibility of the elected government and the lieutenant governor in line with the constitutional scheme of governance of the national capital territory of Delhi. Sir, you know very well the Article 1 of the Constitution of India defines the territory of India as comprising of states and union territories or nothing else. And Article 1 read with the Article 239 provides that the union territories to be governed solely by the president. Sir, I want to make certain points because our eminent lawyers, Abhishek Ji and Chidambaram, they argued about the bill against that. They are eminent lawyers. If they come this side also, they will defend the bill also. They have the capacity. Therefore, as lawyers, they made their points very different. But the crux of the point what they said regarding the federalism and the rights of the union territory, the state governments and the union territories, everything they argue. I want to know what is the present status of federalism? Who is responsible for decentralization of this government? This is your government. Congress government. The Congress government, they are responsible for this kind of anarchy and take away the state rights. That is, everybody knows that. Especially 1976 emergency period, nobody can forget the Indian history. How this former Prime Minister, Srimati Indira Gandhi ji, how she brought certain rules and taken the state powers, including education. Say, who did it? But whether central government did anything for that? But if they thought, they would have brought, even a DMK was afterwards, police were the government so many times ruled, if they have not mentioned in education to a state subject. But they have not done. Because why I am telling, the federalism, everything is going arguing. When they are opposition, they are arguing for federalism. When they are coming to the power, they want to decentralize all the power. These are the things are happening. And centralized, they are centralized, they are centralized is the power. For example, just now is covered. 1 minute. For example, even finance, who brought the GST? Because our DMK government is criticizing GST, and we are also against that. Who brought that? But Chidambaram only finance brought that. See, all like that, there are so many times, sir. And also, because you are going to, well, I want to touch up the point. I don't want to touch up the time. Because I am supporting Amjaji, what he has brought. See, because what they said, why the special status only for Delhi? Because we are demanding for Pondicherry has to be given the statehood. Whether they have given, whether Congress has given, they are not given. But because of the peculiar situation, and based on the Supreme Court judgment, now Honorable Minister brought in to see that protect the interest of the GK. Just I am finishing. 4 minutes. Sir, I am finishing. I am finishing, sir. Parliament, they are telling who are the people? Yes, the Parliament is Parliament is responsible. Elected people, they are electing the bill. We are responsible. Given the government sitting at the nation, JK was Home Minister. Sir, I stand here to support this important bill, sir. Sir, I want to echo the views of common public in Delhi, sir. Delhi being the capital city of India, sir. Delhi public feel is a symbol of India, sir. The bill, sir, they feel it is necessary to balance the welfare of the people in Delhi, sir. This act is required to balance both local and national interest in the capital city with democratic will, sir. More than that, sir, the status of FCTD cannot be equated with other unions.